Bye-bye, sea kids. I'm very pleased to introduce our speaker this morning, Jill Aul. Jill is one of ESMR's founding members, a former board member of the Society and president of ESMR, and currently ESMR Administrator. Jill is also a member of the board of directors of the American Ethical Union, the parent organization of all ethical culture societies. Jill and her husband, Bill, went out of their way to befriend Mary Ellen and me when we first moved to St. Louis in 2017, and we've been friends ever since. Jill has many varied interests. She's a dedicated humanist. She loves spending time with her family, including her little grandson, Augie. She's the founder and an active member of the St. Charles branch of PFLAG, and she has recently, and I have to mention this, been learning to play the banjo. And one of these days she will perform. Today's platform is all about World Humanist Day, which has been celebrated each year on June 21st since the 1980s. ESMR is proud to be a humanist congregation and is in fact the only humanist congregation in St. Charles County. So here is Jill to talk about humanism and World Humanist Day.
Thank you. I think it's funny that we had a ukulele performer again when our friends Deb and Tim are back because he plays the ukulele. Anyway, that amused me. Welcome everybody. As Andy said, my name is Jill Aul and my pronouns are she, her, hers. Thank you for being here. We have lots of visitors here today, which is really exciting. Before I talk about World Humanist Day, though, I want to thank those who participated in last night's Ethicurian dinner, which is a social event we have every quarter. Some of us met for dinner last night at the Martin's house, and then others are meeting next weekend at someone else's house. So I think it's yours, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, so wanted to mention that. I also want to heartily thank those who showed up yesterday on World Humanist Day to clean our lovely humanist facility here. So special thanks to Andy and Mary Ellen, who got a head start the night before, or 2 nights before, to Zim. Raise your hand when I say your name. Zim. Raise your hand. Maddie. Stephanie's not here. Kathy. And then Bill and I. So thank you. Yeah. So as Andy said, first of all, has anybody ever heard of World Humanist Day? Oh, cool. Okay, then I'll teach you something. I am also a retired teacher. So the story of World Humanist Day begins in the 1980s, sparked by members of the American Humanist Association, or the AHA. Initially, there was no single agreed-upon date for its celebration, and the event grew up through grassroots efforts and from various local celebrations that eventually formed into a unified global event. Humanists around the world come together to share perspectives, aiming to make a positive impact on society. Various chapters had their own ideas about the day, with some choosing the anniversary of the International Humanist and Ethical Union, which is now called Humanists International, and others opting for different significant dates. The aim was to find a day when humanists worldwide could unite to celebrate their values. Eventually, in the late 1980s and early 1990s, the AHA and Humanists International resolved to mark this date as World Humanist Day. Imagine that, 2 bodies agreeing on something and solving a problem together peacefully. This decision was reached through democratic processes reflecting the grassroots nature of its origins. The date for celebration was chosen not arbitrarily, but with significance, as it usually coincides with the June solstice, a day of scientific and cultural importance. Now we're heading into those shorter days, I'm sorry to tell you. This date, marking either the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere or the winter solstice in the southern, echoes ancient communal gatherings. It symbolizes humanity's growing understanding of the world and is shared globally at the same moment in the calendar, embodying the universal spirit of humanism. Since its establishment, World Humanist Day has been celebrated in various ways around the world, reflecting the diversity and individuality of the humanist movement. Activities range from parties and picnics to conferences and activism, all aimed at promoting humanist values and improving public understanding of scientific methods to debunk myths. Notable supporters include evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins, author Philip Pullman, philosopher A.C. Grayling, and comedian Tim Minchin, of whom I know we have many fans in this room. Each celebration is an opportunity for humanists to contemplate their values, such as the pursuit of decency and respect toward others, as motivations for their actions rather than fear of punishment or anticipation of rewards in an afterlife. That's my spiel about the actual holiday, if you want to call it a holiday. And around here, semantics can keep us going forever. We had a big conversation last week about the word congregation. We do congregate. That's what it means. Don't read anything more into the word on that sign out there. Yeah. All right. The next thing I'd like to do is talk about humanist values. And here at our ethical society, and all of the ethical societies that are in the American Ethical Union, of which there are, I think, 25 or 26, these values are part of the SEEK program. SEEK stands for Sunday Ethical Education for Kids. And that acronym, as well as this list of core values, were devised by our original Sunday School or SEEK program director, whose name was Patty Martin. She was a founding member, and she died almost 2 years ago. Patty and our leader at the time, who was a clergy person within the Ethical Societies named Bob Greenwell, he was first assigned to the society when it was founded. And this list is now used throughout the movement pretty much at every ethical society that has a kids program. So here they are. Every person is important and unique. Every person deserves to be treated fairly and kindly. I can learn from everyone. I am part of this earth. I cherish it and all the life upon it. I learn from the world around me by using my senses, mind, and feelings. I am a member of the world community, which depends on the cooperation of all people for peace and justice. I can learn from the past to build for the future. I am free to question. I am free to choose what I believe. I accept responsibility for my choices and actions, and I strive to live my values. That is what our Sunday Kids program is built around, and those are the values that really all of our members ascribe to every day. At this time, we're going to take a quick trip through the timeline. Are you ready? Okay, because you're not sitting in your usual chair. Oh, there you are. That's my husband. I'm allowed to talk to him that way. The founder of the very first ethical culture was a young man, 23-year-old man named Felix Adler. There's a picture of him. And if you go to our national website, which is AEU.org, which stands for American Ethical Union.org, and click on, I think, who we are, and then there's another link that says history. You can take your time and peruse this and really dig into it. But we're just going to take a quick look, because if you're unfamiliar with our organization, or maybe even if you are, it's a cool refresher. This organization's young. It's only about 150 years old. And we have really done some amazing things, especially in our early history. We started in New York City, and compared to other world religions, we're just a teeny little dot in the ocean. But I think this is really something for us to be proud of and for people to be aware of if you're not. So I'm just going to take this with me. So, okay, ready, Bill? Okay, so this is our founder, Felix Adler. Go ahead. The first thing here in 1876 this is the building where the New York City Ethical Society still is. It's right on the corner of Central Park West and West 62nd Street. It's a gorgeous building, and it's worth just an unbelievable amount of money. That's not part of the slideshow, sorry. It's not a rich organization because we're very small, but this building is really grand. If you're ever in New York City, you should check it out. Go ahead. We, ethical societies, and Felix Adler and his original colleagues in this movement established the first free kindergarten in New York City. The very first free kindergarten in the country started right here in St. Louis by Susan Blow. But that's probably our big claim to fame. We did something before New York City, but and I'm a retired kindergarten teacher, so I'm very proud of that. Okay, we established the first tenement house in New York City for poor and old, for old folks, poor folks, and orphaned children. Okay, go ahead. We established the first district nursing service, which over time evolved into the Visiting Nurse Association that's still in operation today. We also founded something that was called the Working Man's School, which evolved into the Ethical Culture School. Help me with the name if anybody remembers. The Fieldston School, thank you, which is still very, very much in operation today. Really prestigious private school in New York City. In 1882, the first society opened outside of the New York City area. Next, we spread to Philadelphia. That is still in operation today. The Philadelphia Society is where we'll all be convening next month for our annual assembly. Well, not all of us, but many of us. Okay, and then in 1886, the founding of the Ethical Society of St. Louis happened. Raise your hand if you've ever seen that building. It's on Clayton Road. Yeah, many of us. So it's been there for a long time. But before that, it was the group was actually meeting in the. Thank you. If it's not on my notes, it slips right out of my brain. The Sheldon Concert Hall. Mr. Sheldon was one of our original St. Louis members and really had an effective involvement there. Next, we spread to London, England. That society is defunct. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you've been there at Conway Hall. It's really cool.
Really? Oh, cool. Okay, neat. Next, yeah, we also were instrumental in founding the Bureau of Justice, which is the precursor to the Legal Aid Society, which is still very much in operation today, helping people who need legal help. And then in 1889, the American Ethical Union, which is the network of all of these societies, came into being, and that is still very much an organization that's in operation today. Next. Yeah, Adler started this Journal of Ethics. It's still being published today. Google it. It's just called Ethics now, but it's a publication that is, it's really popular and widely read. Go ahead. Oh, you did. Yeah, we started the Blythedale Children's Hospital. I'm not familiar personally, but it's a New York City Children's Hospital that was instrumental in eradicating tuberculosis and polio. Till now. Okay, sorry. We also, in 1893, founded the International Ethical Movement and the First World Congress of Religions. The Congress of World, it's now called the Parliament of World Religions, is still in existence. A very viable organization that has its big international conventions, I believe, every other year. Go ahead. Here's a settlement house that was founded by Dr. John Lovejoy Elliott, which might be a name that you're familiar with. Again, in New York City. Okay, I'm not familiar with this. Maybe you are. 1898. You can read all about this on your own. Go ahead. I'm not bragging about it because I'm not sure who it is. This is Anna Garland Spencer was the first woman leader at the New York Society for Ethical Culture. We have an annual award named after her, and every ethical society can nominate one volunteer, an exceptional volunteer, to receive that award each year, and I'm pleased to announce that we've submitted a name, and it's Bill Aul, and he'll be receiving. Surprise! Yeah, our board unanimously elected him. So that'll put him in a good mood for the rest of the day.
Question the decisions of the board.
Go ahead. I'm sorry?
Today's Sikh leader is
Yeah, Lee, yeah, our Sikh director, Lee, is a past recipient of the Anna Garland Spencer Award, and so is Andy Stanton.
So is Mary Ellen.
And so is Mary Ellen. Yeah, we are a famous group here. In 1904, we were instrumental in founding the National Child Labor Commission. Very important to eradicate child labor. And then the Brooklyn Society was founded in 1906. The NAACP got its start through ethical culture way back in 1909. We're really proud of that. Here's more clippings and information about racial involvement. The ACLU was originally founded with support by Felix Adler and other members of the ethical culture movement. And then here's Westchester, that's in upstate New York. The National Ethical Service is actually a branch of the United Nations. We're still there. We're still active participants in that. There's a luncheon for them every time we meet. Okay, he died in 1933. Okay, go ahead. He didn't look so good in that picture, did he? Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, the Washington, D.C. Ethical Society was formed next in 1944, and then Essex, New Jersey, 1945. You can see these buildings on these societies that have buildings. They're all different, you know. Some look like old houses, others look more modern, and just many of our ethical societies meet in spaces they don't own, like us. Some, you know, meet in libraries or schools and things. Anyway, in 1946, one of our leaders, Algernon Black, developed the Encampment for Citizenship. That is also still in existence today. That's him with Eleanor Roosevelt. Baltimore was founded in 1948. Riverdale Yonkers was founded in 1948. Long Island in 1950. Not Long Island, but the Ethical Society there. The Society in Northern Westchester, 1950. And then the founding of Humanist International, which is a huge organization now, was founded by our people back in 1952. The Bergen County was founded in 1953. And then we started a national ethical youth organization in 1954. Now that's called the Youth of Ethical Societies, YES or YES. It's gone through many incarnations, but it's reforming now post-COVID and becoming active again, okay? Oh, this is about a famous court case that we were involved in. You can read about it on your own.
about tax exemption.
Yes, about tax exemption. So Queens came along in 1959. Another Supreme Court ruling that we were involved in. Yeah, another tax case, I think.
And part of it was you don't have to believe in a deity to be a religion, which was a biggie for us.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. Here's another. Ed Erickson is an ethical society clergy leader whose testimony helped in getting eligibility of non-theistic conscientious objectors in 1967. Keep going. Oh, that one happened on my birthday. Go back. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I think we can probably zip through. Yeah. Northern Virginia.
Oh, that's back.
I know. Austin. This just gives you a taste of where we are. Keep going. So that's the icky. That's the icky building where we used to meet. But look, that's my car. That cracked me up when I noticed that. Okay, go ahead. My old car. The Future of Ethical Societies, or FEST, that's a group of like young adults. Asheville, North Carolina. Silicon Valley out in San Jose. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Susquehanna Valley, that's in mid-Pennsylvania. Okay, so I think we've exhausted this timeline. But if you're new, I hope that, or if you're not, I hope that gives you an idea of our breadth and scope back in history and just geographically, what we do and who we are.
Better switch on it, Jill.
I turned it off. I'll just hold it. Okay, so the next thing that I'd like to do is I want to read this to you because I just think it's magnificent. It's from a small book called The Magic of Humanism, and I couldn't find the author. It's linked on the St. Louis Ethical Society's website, and there's no author cited there either. So if they can't cite you an author, then I don't have to worry about doing it either. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding because this is being recorded. But I want to share this. It's called The Magic of Humanism. And if anybody who sees this out in the world knows who the author is, please let us know, and we'll give them proper citation. What is humanism? In some ways, humanism is like a religion. It is a comprehensive way of life which orients us and helps us make decisions. It's based on principles, here represented, as I speak, you'll see it, as 6 ideals, which embody our highest goals and our deepest beliefs. But in other ways, humanism is unlike almost all religions. Humanists focus on this life and do not look to the supernatural, either to gods or an afterlife, as a basis for meaning or to offer us guidance. Our worldview accepts that human life is limited and finite, and that we must make the most of this, the one life we have. This is the core of humanism, the conviction that our only life is this life, and our only world is this world, our only hope is each other, and this is enough. The 6 ideals that I'm going to briefly talk about with you are truth, nature, community, growth, goodness, and justice. So, on truth. We seek truth. We desire to know what is true and discard what is false, to winnow the wheat from the chaff. Everyone desires this. Even those who lie are unwilling to admit it. Few are those who proudly call themselves a liar. Human beings have an innate desire to know, to learn, to grow in understanding. The search for truth is part of who we are. Humanists follow the truth wherever it leads. We discard dogma and are skeptical of certainty, embracing the provisional nature of all that we now believe. We appreciate that as our understanding grows. We will need to revise our beliefs, even to the point of abandoning cherished convictions. We take no scripture or teacher to be an ultimate authority. All exists to be interrogated, revised, and if necessary, replaced. We know this to be a form of progress. We want to discover where we are wrong so we can become more right. We are not extreme relativists, though. We believe in truth. It is precisely because humanists believe in truth that we pursue it so voraciously. We understand that reality does not bend to our whim, and that to make our way through life, we must first understand our predicament. Our commitment to truth is pragmatic, and we map the terrain to chart a path through. How do we map it? Rejecting revelation and received wisdom, we harness the power of the human intellect, individually and collectively. We seek out evidence, employ reason, discuss with others, and draw our own conclusions. Thus, science, the distillation of humanity's best truth-seeking practices, is of special importance to humanists as we seek the truth together. On nature. We are part of nature, an animal among other animals, related to all life on Earth. Our pursuit of truth reveals we evolved from other organisms, millennia of tiny changes shaping the simplest life forms into the abundance we see around us. We are a part of the cosmos. The same tiny fragments which make us up are the building blocks of every piece of matter in the universe. Everything from a neutron star to a neuron in our brain is made of the same matter. Everything that is a thing shaped, everything that is a thing shaped from the same stuff. In this sense, we're not special. We were not created for any particular purpose, and there's no plan which guides our lives. The universe cares not for us, leads not to a given end. Humans are not exalted above other animals or even above trees, stones, or atoms. We are an accidental byproduct of physical forces, not created but evolved by chance. We are born, age, and die like all other animals and have no evidence that another life follows this one. We are part of nature and nothing more. But this does not mean that human life is meaningless. There is no cosmic meaning, but we can make human meaning. We generate meaning and caring in relationship with others. By matching our gifts with others' needs, by developing deep relationships, by working to improve our world, by cherishing nature and non-human life, by seeking to broaden our understanding. In all these ways and more, we make meaning. We know our lives will one day end and see that as a spur to make a difference while we can. Our limited, finite, natural existence is, for humanists, not a reason for despair, but the source of all caring and meaning in our lives. On community. We are both unique individuals and members of the human species, part of a global community, similar to all other humans. We have our own experiences, physical bodies, fears, and dreams. Our unique identity is shaped by our country of upbringing, our ethnic background, our race, the languages we speak, our sexuality, and gender. None of us can truly understand what it means to be another. There will always be distance between us. Yet we seek to bridge that distance. Human beings thrive in community. We reach out to each other in countless ways through speech and song, writing and ritual, touch and travel. We come together as families, tribes, cities, and nations. Like hives of bees and prides of lions, we were born to be in community. Within us, we yearn to connect. Luckily, although we are all unique, as members of the same species, we share a huge amount in common. Our uniqueness doesn't prevent us from making common cause with others or working for the common good. Humanists appreciate our need for each other and recognize that it is only through community that we can live our best lives. We see in our shared humanity a basis for solidarity, a bedrock of shared experiences and concerns, which enables us to communicate and cooperate. On this common ground, all humans stand together, and we can connect despite our differences. The communities we create fulfill our need for connection, help us appreciate the diversity within humanity, and enable us to build a better world. While honoring human uniqueness, humanists seek to engender fellow feeling between all people and ultimately create one community of humankind. On growth, we yearn to be more than we are, stronger, smarter, kinder, better. We have within us a drive to learn and grow. When we are born, we need to grow both physically and mentally just to survive. Growth is a necessity. As we age, our instinct to grow broadens. We are curious, seeking after knowledge, competitive, seeking to be our best. We delight in new experiences and strive to learn new skills. Growth is a part of who we are. Growth is also a humanist commitment. Humanists are committed to personal growth and to the creation of a society in which all can pursue their own growth how they wish. We look to the arts, culture, and science to tune our senses, expand our empathy, and grow in understanding of the world. We champion teachers and mentors who bring out the best in us, helping us to go further than we can go alone. The humanist commitment to growth is not an obsession with progress in all areas without limit, but a realization that we each have capacities that we wish to develop, and that our dignity is bound up in our opportunity to develop those capacities. We want to grow, to become more fully human for our own sake and for the sake of our community, because everyone benefits when we create a society in which we can all live to our potential. on goodness. We strive to do good. The search for goodness is at the heart of all religious traditions, and each offers their own path. Yet frequently religions have led their followers to treat others in inhumane ways, limiting their life choices and demeaning their dignity. Uplifting moral messages have ossified into rigid rules, texts written by those long dead, taking precedence over the needs and desires of those that are still living. Humanists don't believe there is a single set of rules which will lead you to live a good life. There are no humanist commandments. Did you read that the governor of Texas just signed in? All right, Google that too. This is supposed to be uplifting. Nor do we promote a single vision of goodness which all are exhorted to follow. We hail no messiahs and are skeptical of saviors. Instead, we encourage people to develop a process of discernment such that even in highly complex situations, we can work out an ethical outcome. Humanists recognize that many ethical decisions are difficult and require careful thought. We speak with others, weigh the outcomes of our actions, consider how our choices reflect on us, and then act and take responsibility because our decisions are our own. In all our ethical decisions, we are guided by one overriding principle. We seek to uphold the dignity of people. Humanists affirm the intrinsic worth and dignity of all, and we hate to see that dignity diminished. In our commitment to truth is the head of humanism. If our commitment to truth is the head of humanism, then our commitment to dignity is its heart. This commitment guides humanists in our everyday lives, calling us to treat others with kindness and respect, and has led humanists throughout history to champion equality, democratic governance, and the right of people to make decisions about their own bodies and lives. And finally, justice. We fight for justice. Humanists hope to create a world in which no person is enslaved, no one is ensnared in poverty, and no one is limited through lack of education. Humanists oppose totalitarianism and authoritarianism, believing everyone deserves a say over the laws which govern their lives. Humanists understand that the government and religion must be separate to protect the rights of conscience of all people. Racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, and all forms of structural injustice are evil to humanists who despise all violations of human dignity. The humanist commitment to truth leads us to recognize the reality of systems of oppression which place some people above others in a hierarchy of worth. White over black, straight over gay, cis over trans, men over women, rich over poor, able-bodied over those with disabilities. Humanists work to create a shared world, a global community in which the fruits of the earth and power over it are shared fairly between all people. Humanists understand that if justice is to be advanced, it must be by human hands. The universe cares nothing for justice and has no moral arc. We make our world, whether just or unjust, and it is our responsibility to forge further on the road to a more just world. And I'll just close this portion of the hour with this. Our only life is this life. Our only world is this world. Our only hope is each other.
Right.
And this is enough.
Right.
And now, as we reach the latter part of this presentation, we're going to watch a 6-minute video presented by ethical culture leader Louise Jett, who will actually be here in person as our guest speaker 2 weeks from today. Okay, so it's obviously about relationships. Uh-oh. I hope you can all read lips.
That is at the very heart of ethical humanism. It is something that has always made our movement distinct. Ethical humanism is not built around promises of salvation in a distant afterlife. It is not constructed on rigid creeds or unquestionable dogma. Ethical humanism is often called a religion of relationships. Relationships between people. Relationships between individuals and their communities. Relationships that call us toward ethical growth, not through fear or obligation, but through love, respect, and shared striving. From the very beginning, Felix Adler made this vision clear. When Adler founded the New York Society for Ethical Culture in 1876, he was responding to the profound transformations of his time. The discoveries of science had challenged traditional religious narratives. Philosophers were calling for new moral frameworks that could withstand the collapse of old authorities. Adler did not respond by clinging to supernatural claims. He called for something revolutionary, a religious community based on human dignity and ethical action, where the worth of every person would be affirmed through relationships, not by impersonal rituals alone. Adler taught, "The unique personality, which is the real life in me, I cannot gain unless I search for the real life, the spiritual quality in others." In other words, we become fully ourselves through genuine ethical connection with others. In 1933, the first Humanist Manifesto was published by philosophers, ministers, and ethical culturists. They boldly declared, "Religious humanism considers the complete realization of human personality to the end of man's life, and it seeks development and fulfillment in the here and now." No talk of divine command, no threats of punishment or promises of reward, just a clear affirmation that meaning is created in this life through human effort, human solidarity, and human care. 40 years later, in 1973, Humanist Manifesto 2 was written in a time of tremendous social change. It responded to global injustices, political upheaval, and environmental crises. It expanded the vision of humanism, affirming that we are concerned for the welfare of all, not just some, not only those who look like us or believe like us, all. Human dignity and human flourishing were now framed as global responsibilities. Then, in 2003, the third manifesto, titled Humanism and Its Aspirations, was released. This shorter and sharper document captures the spirit of ethical humanism with even greater clarity. It says, "Humanism is a progressive philosophy of life that, without supernaturalism, affirms our ability and responsibility to lead ethical lives of personal fulfillment that aspire to the greater good of humanity." The third manifesto calls us to recognize that ethics arise not from external commands, but from human experience and from our relationships with one another. The third manifesto affirms that working to benefit society maximizes individual happiness. In other words, we thrive when we help each other thrive. Our well-being is not separate from the well-being of our communities. Just as Adler taught, just as ethical humanism has always held, meaning is not found by withdrawing from the world. It is found by engaging with the world, by building relationships, by nurturing communities, and by striving to help others flourish. Ethical humanism reminds us again and again, meaning is made through relationships. Ethics are lived out through relationships. Community is built through relationships. No philosophy, no manifesto, no set of words can substitute for how we live with one another every day. Compassion, responsibility, kindness, justice, these are not just ideas. They're practiced, lived out in relationship. When I think back on my own ethical journey, the moments that changed me most deeply were moments of relationship. A mentor challenging me to think more broadly. A community standing by me when I struggled. Friends walking beside me in difficult work for justice. Ethical humanism recognizes this truth. We need each other to become our best selves. And as we move forward, let us remember, we are building more than individual ethical lives. We are building relationships that transform lives. We are creating spaces where people find not just acceptance, but the inspiration to grow into their fullest humanity. Felix Adler envisioned a world where ethics lived not just in theories or declarations, but in the living fabric of human relationships. That vision is ours to carry forward. Ethical humanism teaches us that we owe each other more than tolerance. We owe each other dignity. We owe each other growth. We owe each other compassion. And ultimately, we owe each other nothing less than the opportunity to flourish together. This is the living heart of ethical culture. And this is the work of every relationship we build.
At this time, I'd like to introduce you to the people who serve on our board. We don't have a clergy leader, we are self-run. So every person helps in some way, and it's all very important. The president of our board this year is Keith Robin. Our vice president is Kimberly Burzak, who's out of town this weekend, but her spouse is here. So there's Bob, the next best thing. Our secretary is Jennifer Lewis. Our treasurer is Eric Johnston. And other directors are Bill Aul. And Travis Malik, who's not here, but his spouse is. So, Susan Hernchemeyer, did I say it right? Zim Zaz, and India Williams. Here's a lengthy but probably incomplete list of some of the things that we do here for our members to get involved in. We have a book club, a film watchers club. We have a marketing committee. We have a Sunday programs committee, a care team, an ethical action social justice committee, a social committee, finance committee, fundraising committee, membership committee. We do yoga, and we pick up trash, and we have parties and do all kinds of cool things. Someone who's a visitor and not an official member can participate in any and all of that. But when we have some private social events that aren't open to the public, then those are like members only, and that's your biggest draw to become a member because they're the best. They're the most fun. Just kidding. I kid. It'll be in your newsletter tomorrow. Yeah, Final Friday. Yeah, I said we have parties, but yeah. As a self-led organization, community, we are always open to new ideas, and we have support groups here, art activities, and so much more, but we are always open to new ideas. So the kids have been working on a special Pride lesson since this is Pride Month, and when we're done here, you're welcome to munch these beautiful, colorful rainbow treats that were provided by Keith and his husband David. And they're going to have a parade, a Pride parade. The problem is, Lee, our Sikh director, is not in the room, so she doesn't know that we're ready for them. Thank you. Thank you, Angie. Angie's instrumental in the Sikh program as well, as are other parents. Thank you. I love a good pun. If you have questions, if you're new, if you're visiting, or you have questions about anything that I said or didn't say, please seek out anybody who's wearing one of these name tags. That's another huge advantage to becoming a member. You get one of these cool. And we'll do our best to find the answer for you. All right.
The long piece that you read, the manifesto or whatever.
The Magic of Humanism.
Okay.
If you Google that.
Criminals that do manifestos.
Not always.
That is so great and so well written. Is there a printed version of that?
Well, I have this one, but you can, if you Google it, it'll take you right to it. It's posted on the St. Louis Ethical Society's website. I'll send you the link.